purchasing an RV campsite, starting a multi-tiered membership with board members, and involved in RV insurance network. With so many irons in the fire, are the RV odd couple in over their heads? What's up, blind viewers? How's everybody doing today? Okay, the RV odd couple. Not only are they the new owners of an old RV campsite, but are starting a multi-tiered member system and some type of RV insurance network. Now, the Alabama campsite sat empty for 3 years, or so they thought. After purchase, they found out it was vacant for 9 years. Now, looking at the property, the cabins, and other outbuildings, there is a lot of work to be done. Neglected structures is just one problem. Outdated electrical and water and sewage are probably most likely not up to par either. Now, to open an RV campground to the public in this condition would be a huge undertaking. One could imagine that landscape maintenance alone would be a huge task. From 9 years ago until now, a lot of change has occurred. RVs are larger. They have more demands. People want and expect more. Like, internet, 50 amp service, and sewage hookups, just to name a few. But yeah, it's not like the olden days with the little tiny thing. Yeah, they're bigger and bigger. They take up more room. And yes, for sure, the demands are far more than what they used to be. Now, some might think you can upgrade as you go, piece by piece, and open and have people come in. But I don't know. I can only speak for my area, but I know most places, once you start changing and upgrading, you are no longer grandfathered in, which means now you have to bring everything up to code. People come in, they look, and they inspect everything. And it just can't be, okay, well, we have one spot or two spots open and upgraded and ready to go, so we'll have 2 people in it while we work on the rest. It usually doesn't work that way. Now, this can leave the park empty and under construction for quite some time. In the current post-pandemic climate, supplies are astronomical. The costs are just crazy. So you have a lot of money going out and none coming in. So are they in over their heads? Now, I do have one advantage. The RV odd couple's John, he has contractor experience. So I'm sure he is well aware of what's ahead. I'm sure he knows what he has to do, who he has to contact to get things looked at, and how he can go about things. So I am sure his knowledge of the building industry and his contractor experience is a huge plus. So I really don't have too much concern about that aspect, I don't think. Now, the RV odd couple have followers known as the Odd Squad. They are starting a tiered membership group. The highest tier will be members of the board. So to me, what it sounds like is that they are establishing a corporate structure, so to speak. They will be multi-tiered investors and the board. Along with all this, there is some sort of RV insurance group that they are starting or establishing or members of to get insurance rates for RVers. Now, on top of all of this, members have been stopping by. The RV odd couple, being the welcoming, nice folks that they are, they invite them in and give them tours. Now, this isn't a problem, except this is taking precious time away from work projects. So in a recent video, they cleared a few things up. First, they explained in a nice way that they had to close the parks to visitors or their members or investors or whatever, however you want to categorize them.
And it's so hard for us to turn people away at this point. Dozen a day, guys. Yeah. And up to this point, we haven't. But we're friendly, invite them in, throw them aside, show them around the campground.
But it's getting to the point
It's to a point now we have to close the gates.
We've had like RV Odd Squad members that have come by.
Work needed to be done, so they had to be, say sorry, and they were kind about it, so they left their message that we just can't have the park open and people running through because, there's just too much stuff to be done. Understandable. Now, the RV odd couple also cleared up the board membership misunderstanding. So when they talked about their tiered membership in the video, it kind of made it sound like there would be, smaller investors and then bigger investors, and then the big investors would be on the board and they would be, part of the decision making and this and that and all this other stuff. So they cleared this up by saying that, the board members will not be responsible for what a typical board would be.
We had a lot of questions about what is and what isn't a board member. And I think one of the biggest questions that we got was that people were like, I don't have time to serve on a committee. I already have a lot of prior obligations, right. And rightfully so. And I think we want to explain and clarify what we meant by a board member, because what we need is people that we can rely on to give us their honest feedback, more a sounding board. But we don't expect you guys to be in the trenches with us and making major decisions. And
there was a lot of confusion about that, and myself included. I took it the same way, but they cleared all that up. Now, I stated earlier that John, from the RV Odd Couple, that he had this understanding and experience with contractors and contracting and building and everything. And I said that I think that he has it under control and he knows what he has to do. But at the same time, with all these irons in the fire, all these things going on at once and being overwhelmed, and even with the recent, to do with their members, the Odd Squad having a big meetup, and then the new corporate giants who bought the RV park where they were going to have this event, kind of like brushed them off for a bigger paying event. So, all these things going on, all these irons in the fire, like I said, I think it could get a bit overwhelming. If it hasn't already, it may get that way in the future. Of course, like I just mentioned, with corporate giants edging their way into the RV industry, the competition is going to be fierce. So, what do you think? Let me know. Are they in over their heads? Now, I do wish them luck. I am not trying to be the negative Nancy here. I am just talking about my observations of things. I do wish them well. I really do. I admire their tenacity. I hope they trudge on. I hope their RV Odd Squad comes together and they can get this done. I'm not trying to discourage them in any way, and I don't think you guys should either. But I just, like I said, being an onlooker, sitting back and seeing all the things that are going on, it could get quite overwhelming. They don't seem like they are unintelligent people. So let me just say, my fingers are crossed. I wish you luck, but it will be no easy task. This is Blind Views, and that's the way I see it. YouTube thinks you're going to like this video. That's right. They picked out special just for you. So go ahead, click on it and see if they were right.